Hey guys, Chris here from TribeFit, and today I've got a very, very special guest with me, Geoff Jowett. How are you doing, mate?
Good, mate. Great to be here.
Yeah, good to have you, mate. And for those that don't know of Geoff, I'll let him do a little intro of himself in a second. But Geoff was pretty much one of my first mentors, I'd say 10, 12 years ago, something like that, in regards to, business and had, obviously from Australia, as you can probably tell from the accent, and had a whole lot of successes in numerous businesses in big formats. And he probably won't say it himself because he won't want to talk about himself or toot his own horn, but, businesses in excess of, doing $30 million in revenue a year. So really big scale, really big spaces. But Geoff, mate, I won't try and tell you a full life story, but do you want to just give a bit of a background of who you are, what you do, and what you're doing now?
Yeah, sure, mate. Well, great to be here. Thanks for having me. Always nice to chat with you, my friend. Yeah, guys, my background's I started out in sports science, got into personal training, got in at the right time with that. Back in 99, I started Vision Personal Training with Andrew Simmons. We grew really quickly with a few initiatives that I sort of pushed, weight loss challenges and so forth. Were really successful back then. We went from 1 trainer to 30 trainers in 18 months. Opened our first studio and then franchised out from there, which was great. Loved personal training. From there, I got into weight loss. Wanted to do a weight loss education program, which I did, and we called it Body Trim, and that was back in the day of DVDs in 2007.
Books and DVDs.
It was books and DVDs and CDs and free-to-air television. Who knew? People still watched it. They watched the ads, everything back then, and that exploded as well. So I did Vision. I got out of that. I started Body Trim. We had a great run. Literally nearly 1 million people, I think, in Australia, New Zealand, Great Britain bought the DVD system. So we had a great audience, a great tribe. And from there, we line extended into protein snacks, which was great. We got into grocery, pharmacy, had a good run there. We sold that brand in 2015, 2014. And I've done a couple of things since then. I've had some winners and some losers, mate, to be honest. And I think for all the people listening today, maybe something I can share is a bit of the resilience and mindset. I think people in business, look, if you have early wins, awesome. I did. But sooner or later, you're going to cop a few knocks. And it doesn't matter whether you're Elon Musk or Aussie Geoff or Fred Flintstone. Sooner or later, it's going to be bumpy. And it's how do we bounce back from the bumps? What do we learn from them? Critical stuff. Stuff that at times I've struggled with. And I tell you what, people talk about visualization and mindset. It's pretty easy when you're going good. When you're flying high, that's easy. But what about when you're not? And I had a lot of challenges. After the Body Trim exit, it was a fire sale. We had to get out. The business was not performing, and there were mistakes were made by myself, by my partner, and you got to learn from that. You got to learn from that. You got to be better than that. And I think in business we talk a lot about lead and lag measures, or I do. And the lead measures are the things that really matter. And that's doing the work every day. So what's a lead measure? Like, I don't know, getting up at 5 a.m., reading books, managing your team, training, equipping, educating your team, the customer service, the critical stuff. The lag measure, the lag indicator is the money, but or the number of clients. But that takes care of itself, the lag, if you do the lead. And a lot of people don't. And that's what they cut the corners. It's like with weight loss. I do a lot of weight loss coaching these days, one-to-one, do small groups. And again, it's the lead measures that hold the key. Meal frequency, portions, steps, carb count. Not getting on the scales every day. That's the lag measure. But people obsess on the scales, but not the process. So with business and weight loss, focus on the process, not the results. If you focus on the process, you'll get the result. You got to do the work. You got to stay out in front of it. Really important. If you're a trainer with your clients, a business owner looking to grow their business, that's where you really need to focus. If you don't, and I haven't at times, the wheels will fall off. you'll come into some bumpy terrain because you've got to stay out in front of it, focusing on the things that matter to get the result. So, and if you're in business, which you may well be watching this with Chris's tribe, sometimes it is hard. Sometimes you can be riding the wave. Sometimes the timing's really good. And awesome. That's when you work even harder and focus even more. I think for me, I nailed that a couple of times, and in more recent times, I got it wrong. And it's funny, I'm 40, and let me give you the red hot tip. For 15 years, I thought I had the Midas touch. I just kept winning. And then I had about 4 losers in a row, and you want to jump off the balcony. You're like, what's happened? And it's hard. I didn't jump off the balcony, obviously. But I did another business in the medical space. Great business model, great concept, poor execution. I was just talking about this to Chris before. For me at 40, no more business partners for Aussie Geoff, not because they're bad, but because there's a lot of things that I can't control in operations with a big business because I'm not that guy. So me now, I want to move forward with things that I can do really well. I'm a good writer, speaker, coach, one to many through videos, great, seminars, great, do that. Not trying to be the richest bloke in the room, not trying to be Bill Gates, just build a nice life helping people. My priorities, values, goals and drivers have changed at 40. I've got 2 little dogs. I walk them 3 times a day, and it's a real simple life. I don't drink alcohol anymore, not because there's anything wrong with alcohol. It's great. In fact, it's awesome. It's so awesome. If I have one, I have 120. So you have to know yourself. Is that a bit boring? Sometimes it is, but you got to just play to your strengths and know yourself. So, but what drives me now, I reckon in my 20s, Chris, and early 30s, there was a lot of ego. I want to build a big business. I want to prove myself. Yeah, I want to help people and make a difference, but I want to conquer, and now it's different because that happiness does not live at the end of that. And for young people watching this, just keep an eye on that, because you need a degree of ego for drive to get things going. Healthy ego, yes, but just keep an eye on it. For me now, and I know it's all cliche and in all the books, but connection and contribution for me are important. I think they're human needs. It's critical for me. If I'm connecting with people, I feel better. If I'm anxious, stressed, feeling down, and I get on a phone call and coach someone, I start to have a topic other than myself and my own problems. And then 5 minutes later, I feel really good. And I feel like I'm being of service, doing good in the world, and things are okay. So there's a whole lot of stuff, just basic stuff. I think life can be basic if we keep it that way, but gee whiz, I overcomplicated it. And mate, I've spoken for about 20 minutes, but keep going, or more questions? Or?
Oh, mate, I'll probably really, really awesome stuff, and probably just probe one question that we can expand on that you kind of touched on there is that, there's probably a lot of people watching this, and this is going out to, our free group, our communities, our everything pretty much. And there'll be, people that are potentially in numerous places in their life in regards to starting an online fitness business. One already started, having some success, but potentially, loving it, scaling, no problems. Started having some issues in terms of scaling, got a couple of clients under the belt. The ones that have started but haven't gotten any clients because 1, 2, 3 or things they may have tried, and then those that haven't even started yet because they feel they need to get everything right or perfect and lead in the first goal. So I guess really the question is, mate, is from a mindset perspective, how have you been able to try and start so many different businesses and having successes and having failures, but sort of getting back up and making it happen?
Well, look, you're not going to get it right all the time, but for someone starting something new, it's never going to be perfect. 70, 80% go for gold, out the blocks, learn. I did this the other day. It's not jump off the cliff and build a plane, because that causes savage anxiety.
I totally agree.
I don't, that was the bravado. It's all the crap I don't really buy into anymore. I remember, older business people said to me, just bite off more than you can chew and chew like crazy. Don't agree with that. But that's why people are plugged into you. Because here's the thing, right? If you're plugged into Chris, and Chris and I worked together for about 7 years at Body Trim, and Andy, it was awesome, great times. And these are some of the smartest blokes on the planet when it comes to marketing. So, and, you know, I was out in front doing what I do, and these guys really were the marketing engine within Body Trim, let alone the marketing engine anywhere else. That was brilliant. And that was a lot of all the online success we had there was these guys, and quite a bit of the offline. Let's not kid ourselves. And the thing is that if you're plugged into Chris and Andy, then you've almost got, well, you got a paint by numbers system. You got blokes who've done it before. You got a roadmap. So in many ways, all you do need to do is jump off the cliff because they've got your back, and you just got to plug into their coaching. So that'd be and this isn't a premeditated chat. I'm just literally processing this now in my head because it's actually obvious. Because people have if they've invested in you guys or they're thinking about it, whatever, that's where the clues and the lessons are. And all you then have to do is work your ass off. And the thing is, when you're starting a business, you have to work hard. I coach a bit to some businesses, and I say to them, you know, Monday to Friday, work in your business. You know, they're not all fitness businesses. There are other businesses as well. And then on the weekends, work on your business. And sometimes they're like, what? On the weekend? I go, mate, you're a startup. That's what you do. When we started Vision PT, we worked 7 days a week. When I started Body Trim, 7 days a week. When we started Body Trim, I was on the phone Saturday, Sunday. We were running body and soul ads, and I go, thanks for calling the Body Trim free trial hotline. You're speaking with John. Can I get your name, please? Because if I said it was Geoff, there were like 3 of us. So I just pretended to be someone else to take the orders. That's how little we were in 2007. You got to work, and it's not pretty. It's painful, but you got to do the work and learn and fail forward. Fail forward. Learn the lessons each day. Okay, what did I learn there? What did I learn there? Sarah Blakely, youngest female billionaire, CEO of Spanx. Her mum and dad used to say to her when she was a young girl growing up, what did you fail at today? Because they knew the importance of failure because they were in business themselves. Don't be paralyzed by fear, and don't be paralyzed by fear of getting it right. You won't. You just got to get going. So I'm starting to do a bit of stuff on social media now, Facebook Live, and there's a great example. The lighting was wrong, this was wrong, that was wrong. Who cares? Start by starting. So, and if you've only got one client, it can be a bit down in the dumps, doom and gloom. I started out with one client, and generally the first client, they feel sorry for you. So they start with you. This is reality, right? And all these wankers that get up there and talk about how good they are, they're kidding. When you first start, you know, every professional was an amateur. And I was a very, very amateur when I started personal training, competitive bodybuilding, weight loss coaching, entrepreneurship, all that stuff. So you're going to be average at the start. And I remember the first lady I got as a PT. She's lovely, but they just train. They sort of saw I had no clients. I was a good bloke. I wasn't morbidly obese, so they gave me a go. Like that, and that's how it works. And then they love you, and then you get another one, and before you know it, you got 20. You got a full book of clients, and you are the real deal, and away you go. But at the start, keep it simple. Do what you got to do. Narrow the focus. So one of the things I'm working on now, Chris, is saying no to a lot more things.
Yeah,
so
I love that. I love that.
Mate, I've said yes to too many things. Mate, I'm that bloke who has 9 coffees a day with everyone. I'm going nowhere. Like, no. So you got to go narrow deep. Like, where do I want to be in 5 years? What am I trying to do? Where do I want to be? Is this serving me? Is it in the lane? Is this in the lane way? I want to write. I want to coach. I want to speak. If it's on that highway, then I'll say yes to some things. If it's not, no point.
Mate, that's fantastic. And sorry to jump in, but that was something I was talking to the group about, and they may have seen this or may not have seen this before watching this video. Is exactly that. Is when whether it's online or face to face, clients. If clients are reaching out to you, motivated people are reaching out to you, and they're trying to give you their money to get your services, you need to be ruthless about your lane. You need to be ruthless about who you want to help. And I guess I was talking to some people about it, and it kind of, from a mindset perspective, don't just say yes to every client. If the client's not a perfect fit for you, it is a a better barometer for a healthy business if you're saying no to clients because you can't help them, or they're not in your lane, or they're asking for something that you don't specifically do. If you take on one bad client, that'll suck time and energy and stop you from helping 3-4 other perfect clients. So it is a scary thing saying no to a client, to business, to taking on income, money, et cetera, et cetera. But exactly as you're saying there, mate, staying in your lane. And that's where efficiencies come from. That's where, more energy comes from. You'll get more testimonials because you get more success stories, and then things just build on build on build. So,
and that's where focus comes from. So you can't have 10 focuses. So, and even if you're ducking out to have a coffee or this, or jump on a call about that, it takes you an hour to get back into where you were. So your day becomes too fragmented. So pick your marks, stay in your lane would be some great advice. I get asked, I do a bit of business coaching, but I do say no to quite a few. And because I can't get my head around what they're trying to do, it's going to just be a tax on my head. And I don't have time for that tax. I'm 40 years old. I made money and then I lost money. So I got to start again. I got to get busy. I got to hustle, but doing what I do, what I love, being of service, contributing, doing that stuff. I'm not going to go and jump into real estate because I can make a buck money there. That's not Geoff Jowett's lane. So I've got to stay in my lane, get better, sharpen the sword, and not get distracted by shiny objects, because in social media land, there's always someone blowing up with something new. Stay the course would be the best advice. And you have got two of the sharpest minds in the business to plug into. So it's almost, the way I look at it with what you guys do in your tribe, it's a bit like when I used to go 10-pin bowling as a young bloke and you put the gutter things up on the side. If people are plugged into your tribe, it's like they've got the things up at the side. So they just got to bowl that ball down there. If they listen to you, can't go in the gutters because you guys have got the laneway for them. And if you're doing it on your Pat Malone with no sort of mentoring, you're in the gutter every other throw, and it's very, very challenging. And that's, take it from a bloke who's done that a bunch of times. So you just got to get a bit of urgency. You got to take action, probably where you're at now watching this video, but congruent with the coaching in this group. I would have to say that I say this to people with body trim. You get people in the forums and they want to lose 40 kilos, right? 40 kg. And they've come up with a better way than the body trim system. And again, that's like me coming up with a better way to launch a rocket than Elon Musk. I've got no idea about rockets. If someone's got 40 kilos to lose, I'm pretty sure they're not a weight loss guru. So how about you just follow the plan? Work hard, do the work, lead measures, walking, meal frequency, portions, carb count, do that. Scales will take care of themselves. With you guys, you do the key work here. Clients and revenue takes care of itself if you do the work out in front. And a lot of people in small business, I've only got 3 clients. Yeah. What's your marketing look like? Are you out prospecting? What does that look like? It's not like revenue or clients is some elusive thing that comes out of the sky. It comes out of work. I remember I did network marketing a million years ago, and the model was that, if you show 100 people the opportunity, you will get 20 people in, and out of those 20, you'll get 10 good ones and 3 weapons. You'll get your 3 weapons out of the 100. It's just numbers. All of this stuff's a numbers game. But if you're not doing the work out in front, then how do you get the 3 weapons? You can't, because you've only talked to 4 people. It's just math. My math's not the best, but I can understand that much. So you got to do the work out in front. And a lot of these, it's great seeing a lot of the fitness models and whatnot. Hey, they do some comps, they win some big shows, they get their audience up. Of course, that helps. But this is a tricky one for me. Like, in case you missed it, I'm not Brad Pitt. So people aren't looking at my Instagram for, my glamorous looks. So I'm trying to use social media slightly differently as a 40-year-old bloke, and that is video for me, because speaking, coaching, motivation, mindset, that's me. The shirt's off.
Value, mate. That's
value.
What's your value that you can give to your market, and you will attract. You put out good shit. You know how you help people. Put out good shit. Help people. Don't ask for money just to help people and give value. You do that in your social media. You magnetize and attract people towards you. And as a result, out of those people that need that next level of help, they'll reach out. you'll get a client. They'll know who you are. They know what you do. So that's.
And you know what, Chris, you said it before, like if you do good stuff, and look, we all need to make money to live, but it shouldn't be the number one driver. And I reckon if you're in the fitness space, it's not your number one driver, because there's easier ways to make an earn than fitness. And we love helping people. 99% of people, most of my mates are personal trainers, and they all love helping people. That's why we do what we do. That's why I got into it. But if we do that, what I'm finding with my weight loss coaching clients that I love, it's like I feel like a 20-year-old Geoff again, because I've got clients. I've just simplified the crap out of my life. All the bullshit's gone. It's all just simple. No ego, no shiny objects, no fancy restaurants per se. I'm just keeping it real. So I'm attracting real. And people are reaching out to help me all the time. My nephew's a video production whiz. He'll make you... People are coming out of the woodwork helping me because I'm helping them. I'm going the extra mile, and they can tell I'm genuine because I am. And it's stuff starting to work again because it's coming from the right place. And if you be of service, add value, help people, it's reciprocated. And I think I've said this to Chris before, these days, it's not like you can book a print ad or a TV ad. Now it's organic, it's tribe, and it's far more authentic because people will look at your shop front, which is your social media, see how many followers you do or otherwise don't have, and that's a barometer as well. So you've got to be giving value into your tribe, your community all the time, morning, noon and night. And from that, you just develop this amazing army of people who've got your back, which is pretty bloody special. Like 20 minutes from now, I'm on a coaching call with a lovely lady, helping her drop a few kilos. She's helping me with other stuff. It's just special. But that's at the core of the human experience. That's how we're meant to live. I know it sounds a bit fluffy, but it's true. That's how we're built. And I know if I get stressed and I go and have some nice conversations and connect with people, I feel good. My stress goes away. I'm not worried about the things I was worried. I got out of my head. I took on other people's stuff. I helped them a bit. I feel better. So I guess my operating system for life has changed orders of magnitude from my late 20s, early 30s. I think significance drove me a lot more then versus contribution now. I had a small taste of fame, probably got a bit ticklish by it and excited. And hey, is that wrong? Not really. It's just a young bloke doing his best, but you got to learn from it. Learn from it. Happiness does not live there. Comparison's the thief of joy, and that's where I lived for a long time. Even when body trim was massive, I thought it was small because I was comparing myself to, I don't know, something in America. Like, it's just insanity.
Yeah.
What about getting back to helping the people in your tribe, Geoff Jowett? What about doing more of that, son? So the 40-year-old Geoff, I'm proud of the bloke I am now. I did lose my way a bit, but hey, maybe that was part of the journey to course correct. Maybe that was the universe just giving me a bit of a slap across the head going, hang on, champ, get back over here and do what you're meant to do. So lessons along the way. The mindset's critical for business. Just know, guys, that it's going to be hard somewhere along the line. If you're struggling right now, I'll finish up with this. If you're struggling right now and you think it's really hard, you're right on track. 100% you're right on track. That's how it works. Generally, just on the other side of that is a breakthrough. Just on the other side of it. So you're probably really close. So look at it like this. If you're going good, you're probably not as close to your big breakthrough as you might be if you're struggling. Because I find it's the breakdown, breakthrough. That's how it's always worked for me, to go next levels. Go next levels with my success, disciplines, habits throughout the course of the day when I have to go, now I've got to sharpen the focus. I've got to plug into this group more. I've got to listen more, all that sort of stuff. And if you do that and tuck into the group and take the lessons, these guys have done it a million times. There's a lot of success. There's a lot of people out there in the world that need help and need to be inspired and motivated. And I think that's the thing I love about the wellness, fitness, weight loss industries is we can be facilitators of change. That's what we are. And that's a special thing. I saw the other night, Chris, that movie Margin Call. It's about the financial crisis.
I have seen it. Yes.
And he says something like, I think Jeremy Irons says, oh, cheer up, it could be worse. You could have been digging holes for 20 years. And Kevin Spacey says, yes, but at least I'd have holes to show for it. Because essentially all they did was just move money around the planet that didn't even really exist. Really, they weren't really creating anything. Really, we're putting people back together, creating better bodies, better lives, and you've got to be proud of that. Like, I'm proud of that. For me at 40, it's weight loss and mindset, because that's what I know, and I think I can add the most value because I've had the challenges. I tell people that I had a bit of a problem with the drink. The reason I say that is because everyone's got a problem with something. And if we show our vulnerability, it gives other people hope as well. Mine, mate, when I was battling, Johnny Walker was my best mate and I was good as gold. Not a long-term solution at all. So you show your vulnerabilities, and think about this with your own clients. Show a bit of your vulnerability, they'll open up as well. Connection. You do that with your clients, they'll never leave. They'll never leave when you do that. Connection. We need that, right? So show the vulnerabilities. Everyone's got something. No, I said this the other day at a seminar I did. No one's as good as they look, but we're all much better than we think. No one's as good as they look, but we're all much better than we think. Ponder that one, because it's so very, very true. We put success on a pedestal and all that. No, that person's got demons as well. They've got their challenges, their shortcomings, their fears and insecurities. They might look amazing, but we've all got challenges. We've all got them. We've all got anxieties and different things. And I think an awareness of that's really important. Showing that with your clients can be important and powerful for that connection and breakthroughs with them. But also knowing that about other people, you should know that you're a lot closer to massive success than you think. Like when Body Trim was massive, it wasn't massive because of me. It was massive because of the team. And I was a component of the team. Just because I was the face of the brand doesn't mean I was the brand. And I was the success of the business. We had 100 staff in that business at one point. Like, it was a big organization. And I was a component. One is too small a number to do anything great with your life. It just doesn't work that way. No one is, as Schwarzenegger says, no one's a self-made man. We all got there by people lifting us up. But if you do good work in the world and you're genuine and authentic, more people will lift you up. And I'm finding that now myself, getting back on my feet. People are coming out of the woodwork to help. And they're not coming out going, oh, here's $1 million, Geoff Rowe, but they're helping in kind, with service, doing different things to help me get going online, learn the space, these sorts of things. So, a few little tips there, mate, about life as much as business, staying in your lane, narrow your focus. And, that's my thoughts.
Mate, that's fantastic. I think the main thing to take from it, guys, lag measures, lead measures. I think we both read the same book a couple of years ago about that, where that came from, buddy. So I remember that very, very well. And, in essence, guys, it's exactly that. It's about doing the right things day in and day out, and not expecting, if you have a plan, you have a step-by-step focus, you have a proven path and blueprint. It's just about getting up, doing it day in, day out. It's not shiny new toy syndrome you talked about, Geoff, and everybody feels like business needs to be this difficult, thing that's hard to crack, and you've got to have these, crazy angles. And, if you do one thing one day and it doesn't work, then God, that's obviously not right. Then I've got to try and find another thing, or a different new lead magnet funnel, X, Y, Z, A, B, C. But it's just about having the proven plan, the blueprint, doing it day in and day out. And just like training, just like with your clients, you can't lose weight, you can't put on muscle unless you get into the gym and do the session. You can't have some, there's no magical pill out there that you can, that probably pops up every month, this new pill or this new potion or this new supplement that's literally going to make your clients ripped, put on muscle, lose weight, become, Olympic athletes or whatever it is. It's about getting the proven plans. Success leaves clues. You touched on that before, seeing who's having success, following in their footsteps, having that proven plan, and they're just doing it day in and day out, and knowing that helping people, doing good shit, approaching it from the aspect of wanting to help people and doing that day in, day out, it is logical that it can't not succeed.
Right.
If that makes sense. So, mate, I really appreciate your time. For anyone that's not in Australia, and we talked about Body Trim, a few things, and we've talked about obviously the advertising side of things. Geoff, Body Trim was pretty much one of the biggest weight loss and fastest weight loss growing brands in Australia, New Zealand. Did some testing overseas as well, and Geoff was on pretty much, we've got about 4 main TV channels here in Australia at that given time. It was a couple of years ago, and you were pretty much on TV every single day. So if you don't know of those brands and you don't know what we were talking about from there, just know that it was pretty much one of the biggest brands in Australia in that space on a national format. Do an ad, and I think we'd get like 400 calls in a 30-minute period or 15-minute period there or there. So just to get an idea of the volume, the scale that I guess Geoff's talking about from, and also just to bring back one last thing, the Pat Malone, for anyone that doesn't, it probably not Aussie. If you're not Aussie, you're not Kiwi, or you're not from the UK, you probably wouldn't understand what that means. Pat Malone means doing it on your own. So,
know what I said? Did I say that?
Yeah, you threw that one out. A bit of Aussie slang, maybe a bit of English slang. Who knows which word?
And for everyone, the one tiny little plug. Check out geoffjowett.com, because I've got a new book. It's a new weight loss and health book. It's available there. Check it out. That's what I enjoy, just helping people lose weight. But, mate, it's been awesome to chat with you, Chris. It was a great chapter in our lives, Body Trim, but it was, again, the period before social media really took off, and it was call centres and television. So very different era. And, mate, excited for what the future holds.
For sure, guys. Well, hopefully you took heaps of information, heaps of value. I'm sure they will, Geoff. I appreciate your time, mate. Guys, if anything resonated today, make sure you go on Facebook, type in Geoff Jowett, Jowett. Connect with him, reach out, say g'day, check out his book, check out his website, some awesome stuff there. And, make sure you're checking out what everyone's doing and supporting each other and really getting behind and reaching out where you feel you could have help or support or guidance or whatever it might be. It's always good. People helping people, and that's what it's all about. And, mate, appreciate your time. And that's pretty much it from us, unless you've got one liner of magic that you want to throw out there.
I think the best one you said, mate, was, success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. And one I will say, we overestimate what we can do in 1 year, underestimate what we can do in 10. I've been guilty of that many, many times. So this hyper growth, it's overrated. It's fool's gold. Sometimes it happens. Don't obsess over it. More so have that trajectory in mind, where you can be in that 5-10 years time, what you want your life to look like then, where you want to live, all that sort of stuff. Really takes a bit of time, and I'm only really joining those dots at 40. Jesus, talk about a bit slow. It took me 20 adult years to finally get that one. The rags to riches, the rubbish. Don't worry about that. Just do the basics, do the work each and every day, and you'll, in 5 years' time, you'll be blown away with where you're at. But at the end of the first year, you probably won't. It's compounded, starts, and then you get stick, and then. It really starts to ramp up in years 3, 4, 5, 6. By 10 years in this, wow, it's amazing. You guys are living proof to that. You've been doing this for a while. You have great success now, but it didn't happen in month 1. And we've got to be a bit of patience here. We live in a bit of a microwave society, instant gratification. Because I don't know, someone comes up with an idea, they build an app, and they're a billionaire, and good on them. But that's not the norm. So we just got to remember that a little bit, because I'll tell you the last one is, comparison is the thief of joy. And if you're on social media all the time looking at what everyone else is doing, it's a surefire road to depression, for me anyway. Keep an eye out what people are doing, but don't compare yourself to them. We've all got our own journey and our own timeline, and I think that's critical for all of us in business and life. Anyway, probably enough from Aussie Geoff. No more rhyming slang. I've loved it.
Mate, awesome. Appreciate your time. And exactly that, just to second what you're saying is, doing good shit, doing the right stuff, doing it continually, brick on brick on brick. And, in due time, you have a house. You do the right foundational stuff time and time again, and make sure you're building on, as Andy says, the 1% become 1% better every day. And
who's Andy?
Oh, he's down the cafe grabbing a coffee. But 1% better every day. By the end of the year, you're 365% better than you were at the start. So that's a huge amount. Do that over a couple of years, and it's all pretty obvious, mate. Anyways, mate, appreciate your time. Thanks so much. And guys, like I said, reach out, connect with good old Geoff Rowe, and he's doing some awesome stuff. Check out what he's doing as well. And hopefully that helps. And, mate, appreciate your time.
Absolute pleasure, Chris. See you, buddy.
See you, mate. Bye.